Welcome back to the center of it all. Fred Waring was a native of Tyrone, Pennsylvania, and known as the man who taught America how to sing. Penn State is honoring his memory by making his famous music available to the public. Take a look.
Ready, kids? Go.
Hurry, 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 back to me.
Frederick Malcolm Waring was born in 1900 and revolutionized the entertainment industry in America with his musical arrangements and television program on CBS. Waring got his start right here at Penn State with his band, Fred Waring's Banjo Orchestra. The group became so popular that Waring decided to leave Penn State early to begin his legendary career. Tim Babcock, the coordinator of Fred Waring's America, tells us how it all came together.
They hit it just right because that was when television was just entering America's homes in the late 40s and 50s, and that's what people did. I mean, that was such a huge part of people's lives. It wasn't just pop culture, it was people's lives. People rushed home to listen to the radio, or weekly viewing of a television show was a family event. Fred was a showman, and he was an entrepreneur, and he knew how to sell ideas. He knew what would work for different people, and no matter what he did, he figured out a way to be very popular in everything he did.
We'll tell you more about fluorescence.
Not only was Waring an innovator musically, but he was on the cutting edge of technology as well. He is credited with perfecting the design of the blender.
He came up with two different things that were lacking. He decided that the blender needed sealed ball bearings to make it go and to make it to work with reliability, and then also the cloverleaf design of the glass jar that sits on top, which would allow the stuff that was being blended to keep falling back down into the blades. And then from there, once he got it going, he took it on the road with him, and he took this large trunk with him. The Pennsylvanians called it the blender, they call it the thing. He would market this thing backstage and making drinks for the Pennsylvanians and people backstage. And then he went on to market the blender in department stores and Bloomingdale's and places like that. He would take this blender show on the road and show people not only drinks, but their menu books and cookbooks came out of things you could do with the blender, and all different sorts of healthy living ideas, sort of the pre-Jack LaLanne, idea of juicing things and mixing vegetables.
Waring, known as America's singing master, was also a trendsetter when it came to fashion, with some outfits that would make even Elton John proud.
It came out of a story where there was for a better term, it was a wardrobe malfunction, and his wife gave him a rather outlandish colored turtleneck to wear, and he got so many compliments on it, he figured, hey, this is a good, let's go with this.
Waring's musical contributions helped lay the groundwork for what is referred to today as pop music.
We owe a lot of what we call pop music today to people like Fred Waring, that took music from the live performance to something that you could take with you, take home, that was recognizable, sort of celebrate pop music. I mean, we had a long-standing sort of tradition with classical music, with folk music, and then jazz started catching on in the early 20th century. But elements of all of those is what we call pop music. And Fred made, I think, he was definitely a huge player in what we call pop music.
Babcock talked about what makes Waring's music still relevant even today.
There's always something impressive about Fred's music. The professionalism, the quality of the musical performances, the musicians that he had, it's impressive. He's still a standard in choral music, in orchestral performances with a choral group. We have literally hundreds of requests a year from all different sorts of backgrounds of people, music educators, choral directors, filmmakers, people that are writing books on the history of show choirs. It's the classic sort of small town boy made it big, and it's a really neat thing for the city of Tyrone, for this area, to have that kind of legacy.
Log on to iTunes U and search for Fred Waring for more. In the center of it all, I'm John Stroh.
Thanks, John. When we come back, while we're on the topic of Pennsylvania history, we'll give you a tour of one of Central PA's best-kept secrets.